Boxing.
So it's press conference day at Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul in a lovely theatre. There were hundreds of people there, but guess what? It was nicey-nicey. AJ was fantastic. Even Jake Paul was laughing at him. But you know what? You still have to get serious. You still have to discuss this fight and what it really means. And you have to find someone. And I did find someone. I'm Steve Bunce, and this is 5 Live Boxing. 10 feet from where I'm sitting, there's a replica car of the one that Tony Soprano was in, played by Al Pacino, when he did the deal that went wrong and the chainsaws came out. That car's over there. People are taking pictures with it all night. The motel that it happened is just down there. It's darker now, it's nighttime, but you can still sense the ocean. You can't hear it because there's music inside this bar. It's one of dozens along the line. Now, if you're in a location like that, and at a fight like this, a ridiculous, crazy, mad event like this, you need someone special next year. No disrespects to Darren Barker, love him. Richie Woodall, love him. Barry Jones is like a soulmate. No disrespects to those fellas, and I really mean it. But when you need a big gun, you've got to pull a big gun out. You've got to pull that ace out your pocket, plus the ace out your sleeve, plus the ace out your underpants. And my ace on this particular occasion on South Beach is the one and the only Carl Frock. Carl, first of all, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. You should have said Steve Bunce at the end of that introduction.
Would have been quite funny, wouldn't it?
Listen, mate, listen, you're a legend. Let's be honest, you've been around the game for so many years. But listen, I'll take that compliment. Thank you, thank you.
Carl, first of all, before we get into talking about whatever we're going to talk about, how's Miami treating you?
Listen, I love it. I've been here a few years ago. I trained in Fort Lauderdale. I'll give you a bit of history now and a bit of an insight in my career. I came out to Fort Lauderdale, which is north of Miami.
Yeah.
Not too far away, about an hour away if you jump in a car. And I was training with Howard Eastman.
Yeah.
When he was about to challenge Bernard Hopkins. Exactly.
2005.
There you go. The man, the font of knowledge that Steve Bunce is. He even knows the date.
Even knows the date, yeah.
Listen, I turned pro in 2002.
It was February the date, but that's neither here nor there. Carry on.
And yeah, I was training in that gym, and Howard Eastman was trying to take my head off every day. And fair play to him. He was fighting for the world title against Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah.
He just... did he flop it against William Joppy? I think he did.
Oh, he messed up in the he sacked his corner man.
Yeah.
After about 5 rounds, he could have beaten Joppy, man.
Yeah, he messed it up.
Yeah,
Listen,
he could have.
You've got to take it seriously. And when you're in front of an opponent who's a world champion, or you're fighting for a world title against William Joppy, who wasn't quite elite world level, but he was up there.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good champion. Yeah.
Top fighter. Howard Eastman for me was a top fighter. I used to spar him at the. I used to call it the Gulag, but it was the
East London.
Lennox Lewis College.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis in East London. It was a Gulag.
Yeah.
You all locked in at night. You couldn't go out. I remember. That's when your brother was down with you. I mean, there was a good stable there, wasn't there?
That's where I learned the trade.
I know it was. Yeah.
Wayne Alexander was there, British champion, big puncher,
massive puncher.
And when he knocked out Takaloo.
Yeah.
Timber. And that guy it was like my welcome to the pro spar. Because I sparred him and I thought, I'm not cut out for this game. I was double ABA champion, Olympic bronze, not Olympic, World Championship bronze medalist.
First Englishman to get a medal at the World Amateur Championships. David Hay did it half an hour later, but you were the first one.
Listen, mate, first never follows.
First never follows, son, that's the truth. And can't come second if you're first.
And Eric Timor and Howard Eastman.
What a sessions they used to have.
Welcome to the pros. And I was like, I'm not cut out for this. I don't know if I fancy this game. This is painful, even with 16-ounce gloves. But it was a learning curve.
Yeah.
It was your apprenticeship to the pros. And phenomenal, unbelievable years I'll look back on and say, listen, I now realise that them rounds with them kind of opponents was so valuable for me as a professional, a young up-and-coming professional who was green, unsure, not confident. Rob McCracken in my ear hole telling me, listen, you'll be fine.
Don't worry, you'll be all right.
Exactly. And
And that made you that made you the man that you needed to be in some of those fights that came up later on.
My first world title fight against Jean Pascal.
Which people overlooked, the ITV night. What a fight that was, man.
ITV.
Unbeaten Pascal.
Mainstream lineal television, millions of viewers on ITV fighting for the world title against Jean Pascal, who then went on to become a unified light
heavyweight champion, by the way.
Beat the man who beat the man, Chad Dawson.
Yeah.
And, for me, I mean...
That's one of the... People overlook that fight when they think about you. They think about this fight and that fight and this fight. They don't really end up with the Pascal fight until about the 8th or 9th choice.
They never mention it.
But there's an argument for it being the one because, You were ready, obviously you won, but he was also ready. Was he the betting favourite in that fight?
I think he was. He was.
I think he was the favourite.
As an amateur, he was a top amateur.
Commonwealth Games.
Commonwealth Games gold medalist.
Who'd he beat in the final of Commonwealth Games?
He'd be
Manchester.
Paul Smith.
Paul Smith, that's it. Sorry, we're doing the wrong pod. Sorry, Paddy, the producer, just said we're doing the wrong pod. We've got to move on. Sorry, Carl. We're in Miami. We're not editing one bit of that out. I absolutely love that. Carl, I've got to ask you, where you were, because this is the way this fight is. Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua on Friday night. I'm finding out from people where they were when they found out it was on. It's a bit like one of those situations when people get assassinated or someone dies. It's such a monumental, ridiculous, crazy fight. Can you remember your first reaction when you heard it was actually done?
Do you know what? I was that disinterested and not bothered about it. I was like, I can't remember. I can't. Because when I heard it was happening, I just thought to myself, this is a little cash grab for Anthony Joshua.
Or a big cash grab.
A massive cash grab for Anthony Joshua, because it's not a fight really that you would say that's a competitive fight. You wouldn't put Anthony Joshua in with somebody like Jake Paul and think, oh right, okay, this is a legitimate professional boxing. And I don't want to downplay it for the sake of it or give it any negativity.
All of that's true.
Because I'm looking at it saying, listen, Jake Paul is a Disney star, YouTuber, TikTok dancer, whatever you want to say he is. He's still, you've got to give him some credit. Let me give him a bit of credit first.
Yeah.
He trains as a professional athlete. He's been in a gym for years.
Yeah.
He trains day after day.
Nutritionist full-time, health and safety.
Exactly. He trains like a professional. So you have to give him credit on that sense. But he's not a professional boxer. The art of pugilism comes from being a young kid. I started boxing when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
8. And I was in there but I've got a 10-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old daughter. They're babies. A 15-year-old boy who's also a baby. He looks a bit of a unit now, Rocco.
Yeah.
He looks the part.
He beats you at golf now, doesn't he? You just got to tell the truth. He beats you at golf.
Listen, not only does he beat me at golf,
he should beat you at anything.
Listen. Rocco giving me a little bit of a body spot the other day, and he slipped a couple of left hooks in there to the solar plexus.
No way.
And he gave me a hard time. He's 15 years old, but listen, the professional boxing game is a serious sport, and you need that apprentice.
Yeah.
And this fight
apprenticeship
here
is what you need. Absolutely.
This fight here against AJ, who's a 2-time world champion at heavyweight, Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
You can't put him in there with someone like Jake Paul. I don't care what Jake Paul's done, who he's beat, what he's done. He lost to Tyson Fury's brother, Tommy Fury. And Tommy Fury, with the biggest respect in the world, Tommy, I've spoken to him on a few occasions, I've met him, he's a nice kid.
He's a nice fella, yeah.
He's useless in the pro ranks. He can't fight. And Anthony Joshua's fighting the same guy he lost to. It don't make any sense at all.
You know what's really amazing? I mean, the whole thing with this fight itself is that Jake Paul has not just convinced himself and the people around him at MVP. He's convincing an awful lot of other people, because people are starting to say, because I've just come from the press conference, people are starting to say, well, what if AJ can't get to him? What if? Because did you not flirt a little bit with the idea of maybe doing one of these mad, crazy fights? I mean, you've been challenged by every man and his dog, and you put a few challenges out yourself, but did you not think about it yourself? Were you on Jake Paul's shopping list at one point?
Listen, Jake Paul did say something about me. I'm not going to go on about it, because I'm not really that arsed, to be honest.
But go on, tell me anyway.
But Jake Paul mentioned about me fighting Anderson Silva, who's on this. Is he on the undercard?
What I tell you, I've got an interview with him coming up later on in the show. 50 years of age.
Legend.
No, a GOAT maybe. Trust me, he might be that good.
He might be.
But not just that. What a lovely fella, Carl. What a lovely fella.
Listen, this guy.
I was humbled.
If you've not seen Anderson Silva fight in the mixed martial arts world and watch what he can do and what he's capable of and what a machine he is, you need to go and have a look at his history and what he's capable of. This guy is a machine. He's dangerous. He's scary.
Yeah.
And you know, Jake Paul beat him in a professional boxing capacity. I don't know if it was an exhibition or if it was a real fight.
It was that sort of crossover-y. Jake insists all his fights so far, even the Tyson one, are real and genuine. I think they're not fake, they're not choreographed, but I think there's a little bit of holding back. Because you're a bit concerned by all this bold talk about all the sparring he's had, but there's no footage of it. Because I've seen, I know that you've said.
Yeah, Lawrence Okoli's been sparring with the likes of him.
Well, let me see it. Yeah, I know you've said that in the past.
Yeah, well, listen, they've told me that he's sparring with Lawrence Okoli and other fighters. I mean, what other fighters are there? Who sparred with?
Jared Anderson.
Gerard, of course, the American.
Yeah, the American.
Yeah, who was a
decent
very
enough
big
one.
prospect
Yeah,
at one
at
time.
one time. Then he got beat because he ran out of ideas. Carl, now we've got to move on because trust me, I know you and I could do a lot of talk here for a long time. We wouldn't even get onto the fight. Now, I don't know if you know, but one of the things I do whilst you're cracking on with your channel, when you're in Manville and cracking and controlling the world, and like you've overtaken stuff, and you're brilliant. Well, I love something. I love what you do. Is I do a famous thing where I do a walk and talk with the fighters. Now, Paddy the producer goes ballistic because I never get any good information out of them, but I get nice information out of them. So I did one of my famous walk and talks, about 4 minutes with AJ after one of the after the open training. He said, "Here I am with AJ, a walk and talk." Now, if you are looking for in-depth answers and questions, and I don't know, me opening him up with something and getting inside his soul, forget it. Here's AJ and I having a little bit of loving. I make no apologies. Have a listen. AJ, a great line you used there about it's not my first rodeo, and it's not your first rodeo. We've been in bigger fights, we've been in enormous fights, but this feels like it's an event, a big event.
Does it feel like that from your point of view?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Not from my point of view.
Didn't until I got here. Does when I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, from a fighter's point of view, you have to see it from the lens I look through. There's no like drama and fiasco.
Yeah.
Because we're still in training camp. So
But you like the drama and fiasco, don't you? You do. You like it. You like it a little
I
bit.
swear to God. I know what it is. I understand it, but I'm not really here for that.
So this is working out well for you then. If there's no drama and fiasco, it's perfect.
Do you know what it is with certain fighters? There's just a bit of needle.
Yeah.
There's no needle here.
You can't have needle here, can you?
I acknowledge what he's saying. Mm-hmm. He's got more skill than me.
Yeah.
I can't take a punch.
No heart, no guts.
I acknowledge all this, and I'd have to, there's a side of me that wants to deal with him, but there's not a level of like hatred there.
Now you use a quote there you first used with me about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was that you've been carrying everything on your back. You still feel that way?
I carry my portion, my slice of the cake.
There was a time when you carried more than that, maybe.
I'm still carrying a good big portion of that cake.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you suggest so?
No. I think I would suggest you're carrying a massive portion of that cake. Of course I would. I would suggest you're carrying a massive portion of that cake.
Yeah.
So is
this get in there?
Is this one you're looking forward to, AJ? For whatever reason.
I'm looking forward to after.
Yeah. Getting it done.
Yeah, so it's a big task at hand. People think it's just gonna like, you ain't even got to train, Josh. What are you training for? You're gonna go in there and smash him up. And I'm like, wait. You can't think like that, bro.
You can't think that way.
No, you can't. So for me personally, I know the task at hand, I understand what comes with it, so I'm looking forward to after. God willing, I get my hand raised and I'm victorious.
And then you can leave the ring.
And then we can talk about what's next.
Then we can talk about what's next. Because you think I was going to do a cheap shot and ask you about what's next? You think I would do that to you after all these years?
I think you would.
No chance, brother.
I think you would.
That's for post-fight.
Yeah, let's talk about that post-fight.
Post-fight, we've got an arrangement. We'll do that.
I saw you after my post-fight in Madison Square Garden.
You did, yeah.
I always see you post-fight.
I was hiding
I think I saw you after the bloody bar.
You did, yeah. After the second Usyk fight.
I think if I don't see you, I think it's actually a benefit.
Yeah, it's good, yeah. If you win, I don't care.
If I win, I don't care about me.
If you win, I don't care. No, I come and see you when you lose. I want to make sure you're all right.
You just want to see if I'm concussed and you can get something out of me.
No cheap shots, but I want to see if you're all right. So that's why
it.
no one gives me credit. I waited for 2 hours by that lift in New York, brother. All the way on, I was starving.
I remember. I wasn't that concussed. I remember seeing.
Well, listen, you got to go. Give us the mic. I'll speak to you later on. It's been a pleasure. That was AJ with me, as relaxed as I suppose that's to be expected, as relaxed as I've ever seen him. When did you first encounter AJ, Carl? Because there's a lot of crossover. You Robert McCracken, AJ gets called into the GB system. Can you remember your first sighting of the big lad?
Yeah, I was training at the EIS, the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield, and Anthony Joshua was in the gym. He was an Olympian. He was ready for the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
And being in the gym and training and sparring for world title. My first world title fight at the English Institute of Sport was against Arthur Abraham. Yeah. I had to think then, I don't know why, but this guy was a tough guy. He knocked out Jermaine Taylor, the guy that I beat in my first world title defence. He gave him a brain bleed.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
It was a big problem, and Jermaine Taylor was struggling after that. He went on and he was struggling, but AJ for me was just a natural athlete, big, tall, strong, physically, a physical specimen of a heavyweight. And I watched him sparring a lot, and I was impressed.
Yeah,
I was impressed with what I saw, and he won the Olympic Games in 2012 in London.
Yeah,
and he struggled in the first fight against a Cuban. A lot of people say that
listen, it was tight, but
it was close. But he won the fight.
Listen, you had an Olympic qualifier where you should have won, you didn't get a decision. That's what happens in the amateur game. You have tight decisions. It's standard procedure.
Listen, it can be political.
Yeah, of course it can.
Let's just say that. But he did well. He threw the punches. He landed the shots. It was close. He won the fight. He went on to win the Olympic gold medal. And I used to sit in with him at the
EIS.
The EIS, and he eat omelettes with him at the Premier Inn. And, that's a hotel that has a great breakfast. I love the breakfast there. Loads of fruit, loads of eggs. And I was sitting there thinking, how's he eating a 10-egg omelette? But this guy's massive. He's a big, huge heavyweight. And he's a good fighter. And I enjoyed his company because he knows the game, but he's learning. He's trying to learn. He's trying to learn off me and feed off me.
He was desperate to improve, wasn't he?
He was.
I found that even when he first turned pro, even when he had his first world title fight, 2016 against Charles Martin, he was just desperate to improve.
He was. And he asked the questions.
Yeah, no. He wasn't afraid of it. In fact, he was quite good at that, wasn't he?
He was.
He would ask questions. Is that maybe sometimes he doubted himself a little bit?
He did. But that night at Wembley Stadium when I sat ringside working for Sky Sports and broadcasters, watching him fight against Vladimir Klitschko and win that world title, defend the world title, win a world title.
What a night.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He climbed off the canvas. You've got to give the guy credit.
Yeah.
For winning that world title.
Yeah.
In front of...
He was gone when he went down, He was dropped. He was out.
Yeah. And a lot of people say, why didn't Klitschko throw any punches? Well, Klitschko, since linking up with Manny Stewart, he became a different fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
He used to be offensive.
A smarter fighter,
He got knocked out by Corey Sanders, and he became nervous and negative.
Yeah.
Manny Stewart got hold of him and changed the way he thought, changed his style, and he became a defence-first fighter.
Yeah.
Behind the jab, have a look at him, put your shots together, win the fight on points if you have to, but don't go for it because you might walk into one, especially at heavyweight, and take one punch.
Yeah.
And Vladimir Klitschko was a different fight when he fought AJ, but AJ did the job.
Yeah, he did. What a job.
Couple of rounds after getting dropped, he recovered. Yeah. He came back. He was back in the room. Yeah. Similar to me when I fought George Groves, I got dropped in round one. I got back in the room in round six.
Yeah. Round 2, 3, and 4, and 5. We're not going to talk about that because that night at Wembley when AJ got up from the canvas and managed to stop Klitschko, that was at Wembley outdoors. Now, there's been other fights at Wembley outdoors, hasn't there, Carl?
Listen,
go on, son. You've got 30 seconds. Go on.
Let me take my time in this. 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. Carl fights George Groves. The rematch. El Sparko, George Groves. Listen, I did what I had to do. Anthony Joshua, first never follows. Apparently, he got more fans there. Who's counting the seats?
No, but Carl, we've already worked out. Now you might get upset with this. You were watched by 80,000 that night, yeah?
Okay.
But we think Echo Esserman from Nottingham, when he fought on that undercard, I think of the Derek Chisora and Tyson Fury, we think there might have been more than 80,000 in there when he fought in the ring.
Listen, we don't need to talk about that. Echo Esserman, what a fighter from Nottingham. Fair play to him. But Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko that night, and he was catapulted to stardom.
Yeah.
And he became a household name. And, fair play to him.
Yeah.
He was with Roman Cracken in his corner, advising him, guiding him, and he became
genuinely holding him.
A bona fide world champion that night.
Anyway, listen, we've talked about Jake Paul. We've heard from Anthony Joshua walking with me. We also, Paddy and I, the producer, we listened to Jake Paul. Now, one thing about Jake Paul, he gets a lot of criticism, don't get me wrong, but this is bold. He's been bold. He's picked and chosen. He's become this incredible character. He's on Netflix. He's going to be watched by millions. He's making millions. He's giving AJ unbelievable purses. He's also giving everyone on the card. They're all making record purses. So even if you're an 8-round fight, you're making a record. You're defending one of your women's world titles. You're making a record. So, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Jake Paul. Don't get me wrong. I know what he is. But anyway, here's Jake Paul breaking down a little bit about how the fight got made and also what he thinks might happen in the fight.
On paper, the cards are stacked against me, but in terms of boxing, I'm a better boxer than AJ, which is like hilarious to state. But he's got 2 left feet. He's stiff. If I was his coach, I'd put him in a dance class first before trying to box and really just bringing in the right sparring partners to help me prepare so that I can get looks that are similar to him, and that's really just been the strategy. But I'm just going to go in there and display all my skills. I honestly see a man in him who is insecure, actually, and not sure of himself fully, and kind of has a wounded heart of some sort. So I feel nothing when I'm in the room with him.
In the face-to-face you guys did this week, he said, oh, it's a mental game. I can go in there and take your soul. If he comes in there, lands a shot on you, and you don't go away, and you actually stay in his face, what do you think that does to him mentally?
Yeah, no, what's funny is in that interview, he was actually describing what happens to him in fights. Because that's never happened to me. I've never lost my soul in a fight, but it happens to him all the time. So what's funny is he was projecting his own emotions of what happens to him onto me by saying, oh, you're going to crumble and your soul's going to leave your body and you're going to be fighting. That he was just describing his own internal feelings of what happens to him in fights, which I find funny. So it's going to be mentally very difficult for him when I start to win rounds and he can't hit me. It's going to be very entertaining to watch and to see him be frustrated.
So, Carl, that's Jake Paul. We don't need to talk about that. Now, we've gone on a bit long here, and I don't want to keep you any longer because I want both of us, all four of us around this table, to have a good night here in South Beach. I tell you who is on the bill, and they're fighting each other. Tyrone Woodley, the former UFC welterweight champion, one of their best champions, and Anderson Silva, one of the very best ever MMA fighters, UFC champion for years and years and years, described today by Ariel Helwani as the GOAT, the greatest of all time in that business. So Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, I'll be honest with you, it's not much of a fight, but it is intriguing, and you've got to respect those two, especially Silva. And there was a suggestion once, if I'm not mistaken, did not Jake Paul tell you that you should fight Silva? But Woodley, now Woodley's interesting.
Listen, Tyrone Woodley choked out Darren Till. Let me just get that straight away, because Darren Till's been making a lot of noise about fighting me. And that's the guy that choked out Darren Till. You know, they got him tap in.
And he got sparked by Jake Paul. Sparked, knocked out cold.
He got those spark code.
Yeah, not Silva got beat on points.
Silva got beat on points, but you have to just say to yourself, listen, how real is this? And I'm sceptical.
Yeah, of this one I am. Going back to, I'm sceptical of this one, I agree with you. But the real one, AJ doesn't have the ability to hold back, does he? It'd be like asking you to move around with someone. You couldn't do it.
It's so difficult. Robert McCracken, my coach, said to me, take your time with this kid in sparring. I can't remember who the sparring partner was, but he did it more than once. Take your time. How am I going to take my time? I can't take my time.
Yeah, if he's hitting you, I'll go hit him
back. When I throw a jab in the right hand, I can't pull the punch.
No.
I can't slow it down.
You can't throw a 60% or a 40% there. You either throw it or you don't throw it.
And you end up upsetting the sparring partner, or sometimes I was at the Trinity Gym, which is ground zero in New York.
I know.
Training for the Andre Ward fight.
Down in Atlantic City.
And the Glencoff Johnson fight in Atlantic City. And they're saying take your time. It's hard to take your time. You can't pull the punch.
And AJ's not got that in him. Like, you've not got it in him. You've not got that side of in you. And exactly. AJ hasn't got that side. That's great. That's good. You guys shouldn't have that side.
Listen, if Anthony Joshua takes his time with Jake Paul, we're going to see it.
Yeah.
We're going to see it straight away.
Bang. Yeah.
We saw it a little bit with Mike Tyson. We saw Mike Tyson get himself in the position.
And then stop.
Throwing the punch. Yeah. He slipped the jab, put himself in a position, was on his left foot.
And didn't let it go.
And he never let the shot. He never pulled the trigger.
Now, AJ will let it go.
I think he will.
So let's get back to the Kaseya Stadium Friday night. What happens? There'll be 18, 19, 20,000 in there, Carl. What should happen?
What should happen is Anthony Joshua should throw a couple of jabs to get his range, get his left foot in range, so he knows he's in the position where he can land a shot. Because as a professional fighter, you have to know you're in range. And it's an innate sort of autocratic reaction. When somebody jabs, you catch it with your right hand, if you're orthodox. So you're right-handed, you're catching the jab with your right hand, and you're sort of lining up the chin of your opponent. You know you're in range.
You're measuring. Exactly. You're finding the space, the time in the gap.
Exactly that. Bunsy boy, you've never boxed, but you know the game inside out. You're in range. AJ should be finding his range. I can give him round one. I can give him round one as a let-off, as he's finding his range. He's having a look at Jake Paul. He's wondering what all the fuss is about, what all the BS has been about for the last 2 months. And then once
I'm with you on this about the first round. Yeah, carry on, yeah.
and he could end up going round one and sitting down in the corner at the end of round one and saying, you know what, I found my range.
I'll do it now.
I've had a look at
like
this.
he did against Ngannou. When
Exactly.
he measured his steps, Carl.
Exactly, that's what he did. He's found his range, he knows where he is, and he knows he can land the shot. Now it's about pulling the trigger. Now, at what stage does he pull the trigger? He comes out round two, he's landing the jab, top of the head, shoulder, wherever he's putting the jab, and he knows the right hand's going to connect if he lets go of it. If he pulls the trigger, he knows it's landing. And that's a guy who's almost 18 stone, 245 pound, whatever the weight limit is, whatever they've got.
It'll be 260 in the ring.
10-ounce gloves.
Normal
I
gloves.
don't know if you've had them gloves on, Stevie Bunsey
I have,
boy,
yeah.
but you can feel the knuckle through the glove.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not
when you're
far,
that big as well.
It's not far off bare knuckle.
Absolutely, son.
And if he lands that shot and Jake Paul's chin, cranium, anywhere on the head,
Anywhere.
it's going to render him unconscious and do some serious damage, potentially.
Yeah.
Hopefully Jake Paul gets up. But in my opinion, Anthony Joshua can end this fight when he wants. Yeah. If it does go to round two, and it shouldn't go past round two, and Anthony Joshua decides to throw that right hand and land it on the chin like he did against Ngannou, this fight should be over.
Yeah, as it was out in Saudi with that fight. Anyway, Carl, it's been an absolute pleasure and a delight being with you.
Always.
I'll see you throughout the rest of the week here. So that's the way it's been. Pods every single day, stories every single day, entertainment every single day. I'm not going to lie. We're either going to hire bikes, or we're going to hire skateboards, or we're going to hire scooters. We're going to get on that beach. We're going to go 15 miles that way, 15 miles that way. And we might then come and have a little relax somewhere with a few lights on. It's South Beach. It's boxing. It's Carl Frock, one of the finest British boxers I had the pleasure and the delight and the privilege of covering. I've been Steve Bunce, and this is a very, very special Miami-based 5 Live boxing.